Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 229. It's a Wednesday, hump day, Wednesday, halfway through the week. Here in Cincinnati, it is another gorgeous summer day, blue skies. I remember when I was younger, we would always laugh at how hard it would be to be a weatherman in San Diego because we always felt like the weather there was the same. It's 70 and sunny. And sometimes in these podcasts, I feel like that same energy. Like, it's gorgeous. It's another beautiful day here in Cincinnati. Today really is pretty, though. It's sticky hot, but it's so pretty. When I went for my run this morning, I've been tracking all the flowers and what's opening and blooming, and there are these bushes that grow locally here. I think it's called Rose of Sharon. I need to look it up again. But they're bushes, and they have these flowers. I think they're kind of like morning glories. They close at night and they open in the morning. And they have the most beautiful colors. They're like purples and pinks and whites and blends of all of them. And each of the neighborhoods, you can tell how the seeds transfer between the homes and new bushes pop up. But there was this one bush today when I came around the curve of this one road. The whole thing was blooms. It was absolutely gorgeous. So I took a picture of one of them, and I'll use that today in the podcast if you want to see how pretty the Rose of Sharon is here in Cincinnati. Today when I started my run, the first song was Glory by David Ramirez, and I was going to read the lyrics, but the lyrics weren't quite they weren't quite what I was wanting to share. But I love the word glory, and I love the energy of that song. In it, it's about his partner and him, and he describes how she takes him to glory, and it's just this really sweet melody, and I love the title. So if you get time, maybe listen to that when you get a moment. But what I wanted to focus on is this idea of playing big. So my dreams lately have been extremely vivid, aware, bright, vibrant. I've remembered a lot of them. They feel so real. Some of them I feel like the conversations actually happened, and then when I talk to the person, it's almost a surprise in the real world where they haven't had that conversation with me. It's been a very interesting time. And I have spoken to many people who've had the same sort of in-between realities, kind of like the dream is as real as today, me sitting here with my phone recording this podcast. So this morning when I was asleep and I was just starting to wake up, I was describing it to my husband when I was telling him. I said it felt almost like someone was talking in my head or in my ear. It was so clear what they were saying. And I'm sure it was my soul or my guides or, energy just being expressed. But the message I heard was, don't stop believing in this big dream this big journey that you're here to have. Don't stop the bigness of it just to make, everyone else around you comfortable. And I've been thinking about that the whole time when I was outside today and when I was meditating. And so I'm claiming this podcast title of Play Big. Play Big. And we're going to meander our way through that. So the way that's coming into, let me see how to say it. When we get messages that are that clear, there's usually some reason that it's showing up in our lives that directly, that the message is like, you need to hear this now. You need to be reminded because you're doubting yourself. It was like yesterday when I said I went out for my run, I was kind of cranky, and then my guides gave me the song Hello Beautiful, which is all about stop doubting, stop being afraid, stop worrying, just go for it. And I got the same message, but in my dream space last night with this, don't stop, play big. For me, the way that that is showing up in my external world, in my reality that I live during the daytime, the work that I do, and the things that I'm focusing my attention on. Right now, for me, that's hosting this event, this first festival of 14. And I have hesitated to talk a lot about the festival because I don't want it to sound like that's all I'm going to talk about. And what I realized this morning in my meditation is this podcast is about what's happening in my life. And right now, this is a really big thing that's happening in my life. And it's taking a lot of my time and my attention. And in the process of hosting this festival, all of these magical things keep happening. And alignment is something I'm playing with, and trust and faith and communication and connection, and all of these really big life skills and practices at a spiritual level. It's playing out in how I move towards hosting this event. And so to not share that feels like it's some of the richest content I have of what's happening in my journey. And why would I not share that? So I'm just putting a disclaimer out right now for the next few weeks. The festival is August 3rd, and you may hear a lot about the festival until August 3rd. And you may hear some awesome reflections after it's over the following week. And I'm committing to sharing what's relevant in this podcast space. Like, what is it that can provide value for you as the listener, as the co-participant with me? What is there that can provide value for you in your journey? And so the invitation in anything I share is look for your matches. Look for the ways where this same theme is playing out in your life, because you would not be listening to this episode unless there was something in you that's also saying, play a little bigger. Play a little bigger. Claim a little bigger dream. Go for the thing that you really, really, really want, and be willing to, be okay with the people around you perhaps being somewhat uncomfortable that you're wanting to play bigger. That's okay. That's totally okay. So here's the way I saw it in my dream. I love, is that true? I enjoy going to the grocery store most of the time because I see the same people and we always have fun little chats and conversations. And, there's something about being around food and knowing I'm going to nourish my family. It feels good to me, even though I complain and whine about how many times I have to go. I would not be going if it wasn't something I wanted to do. I would have found another solution. And so in my dream, when I had that, don't stop, like, this is your journey and you wrote this journey to be big and you are here, so live it in the way that you wrote it. Like, be big in what you're claiming for yourself and in the work that you're here to do. And for me, big means global. It means these festivals are going to move around the world and we are going to activate energy in really powerful, incredible places with all kinds of diverse audiences and ages and experiences and cultures. Like, that's the point. That's the point. And I know all of that. So when I had that word spoken, or those thoughts spoken into my mind, almost immediately after that, when I was just laying there thinking about it, because by then I'd woken up, I pictured myself at the grocery store. And I was like, but what about the people who are working in the grocery store and their experience is so different than mine? Like, is it okay that I claim this big experience and then, there are others who aren't? Like, it's this age-old story for me of, is it okay for some to have a lot and others to not have a lot? Is that okay? Because often it makes me very uncomfortable. And I want everyone to have everything. And I want everyone to be equal. And I want it all to be fair. And so is it okay to want or be bigger than what you see expressed around you? And what I could see, it was so beautiful. I could just see how everyone's exactly where they want to be. Or maybe that's not the right word. Everyone's exactly where they have chosen to be. And so there is something rich and powerful and big for everyone in every single life experience they're having. So the people I see at Kroger's, like, they are having amazingly rich experiences in the work that they're doing, or their soul wouldn't keep them in that work. They would be doing something else. And it was just one after another. I don't want to go into a whole story about Kroger's, but it just felt so good. It was like everyone is where they chose to be. And it's okay if I choose to have different experiences than what the people around me are having. That's okay. It's actually great. It's actually great because we'll have more to talk about when I see them at the store, because I'm still going to keep buying my groceries even when I travel around the world. I'm going to come home and I'm going to go to Kroger's. Oh, it's so funny. I hadn't realized I was going to do that, but apparently I am. We'll have so much more to talk about, and that's the point, right? Is that everyone has their individual journey, and then they're able to share that with other people. And in the stories and the sharing and the connection, we all expand our ideas and our knowing, our understanding of what life can be. And it's so varied. It's incredible that this one planet can host, I don't even know how many millions of options of life experiences, all at the same time. There's this couple I follow. They're called Expedition Earth, and I think Live Expedition Earth or Expedition Earth. They're on Instagram. It's this young couple. I think I've talked about them before, and they have a Jeep and a drone, and they're traveling the entire world from one side all the way around to the other side. And so they share their journey on Instagram. So in this moment, I believe today they're either in Egypt or Sudan, somewhere in that area. The videos they've showed, it's like 100 degrees. They're super hot. They're eating these bologna sandwiches. They're in the middle of sand everywhere. And I think about, in this moment, they are having that experience that they chose. Someone that they're driving through the villages is having an experience in that village where they're doing whatever they're choosing to do, and all of the range in between of life experiences are happening all at the same moment. I mean, that kind of blows my mind. When you think about it, you can choose any experience and create it. And so why do we limit ourselves with only what we can see and believe is right here in front of us in this moment? And that couple that decided to travel the earth, when they first sat down to draw a map, they had no idea how it would go. And yet they're, I think, 8 months into their journey. I don't know exactly. I shouldn't speak if I don't know, but they're into their journey pretty far. I think they have little map or little flags of the countries they've been through that they're posting on the side of their Jeep. And I think the update I saw was maybe 30 of them, and they're going for 70. Or, I mean, they're doing pretty well on this journey. But when they started, they didn't know how it was going to go. They just said yes to starting. And so that's the feeling I have today. It's play big. Why not? Why not? Right? Why not go all into whatever it is that I'm creating and just allow the energy to be expanding, to be so much bigger than what I believe is possible. So that kind of energy, when I apply it towards any activity, like right now it's, creating flyers and getting marketing and putting things out about the event. When that sort of energy is going into the distribution of marketing materials, right? It's like, yeah, there's just massive explosions of fireworks that go from that intention. So I've been picturing myself when I take the flyers to different restaurants and different places around town. I'm just going to picture a big firework display right at the top of the the image on the flyer. So when people look at a bulletin board, it's like pew, pew. There's these fireworks exploding out of the top, and how could they not see this flyer about Gaia's Love Festivals? I mean, that's the way I'm going to play, and why not? Why not? Maybe I should call the podcast Why Not? All right, so yeah, here we go. It's Wednesday. That's a lot of energy in this podcast. Ground yourself in. Get your feet on the ground. It's good. It's good. This wormhole we're moving through is providing such entertainment and such expansion. Okay, Wednesday, hump day. Play big. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.